Is back, and Eva Marie takes a beating. Yo,
All right.
what's going on?
We're here.
What's happening? We're back here again. Feel like we've been here all the time. We're always here. I've been here like every night, all the time, all the nights.
5 straight nights?
Something like that. No, because I wasn't on Friday because I was at that wrestling show, but still, it was working at the wrestling show. It's been a busy time, but we are here to talk about Monday Night Raw and everything going on Raw tonight. You liked Raw. You thought it was better than Extreme Rules?
Yeah. I didn't feel sleepy. And I felt sleepy several times during Extreme Rules.
Get in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
But yeah. I thought there was a more solid collection of matches tonight. Another fine performance from Sheamus. Things felt a little bit more decisive than they did at the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, you know, like that 6-man tag match being one example. And tonight we get a championship cage match. Really felt like that should have been last night.
Yeah. A WWE title match inside a steel cage was the main event for Raw. Last night, the WWE champion wrestled in a 6-man tag, right? So, not quite the same. Not quite the same. It was a little bit better. Certain things on Raw tonight. It was, not an overall quality show. Like there was a few matches in there. There's kind of like what, the Karrion Kross, Jackson Riker match. Like that wasn't.
No.
That wasn't there. Yeah, you really got to talk into the mic here.
Okay.
You're not in your mic.
All right.
Give me a mic test.
How
here.
we doing? How we doing?
I think you're better.
All right.
I don't know. Give me again.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
I think that's probably better now. Oh no, that was me. I think.
Okay.
What? You're up there. I don't know.
Okay. I'll be here.
I don't know. Check from the production team. Are we all good?
But yeah, I think Raw was better than Extreme Rules. I think they did a better effort. No, ridiculous finish like that Roman Reigns match last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess not. Extreme Rules wasn't the best. Raw tonight was, pretty good. But they were comparable shows, I would say. Like, Raw was about the same as, Extreme Rules. I don't think Extreme Rules was a particularly high-quality show. It was like a decent episode of Raw or Smackdown. Like, it wasn't a terrible wrestling show. It just wasn't a great pay-per-view. Pay-per-views, you expect a little more. But for tonight, for Raw, like, I would compare the shows. They were, roughly the same quality-wise. We had some good matches for sure on Raw tonight. We had Big E versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage. That was really good in the main event. You had AJ Styles and Riddle, which was a very good match. We had Damien Priest and Sheamus in a no DQ match. That was very good. Like, we had a lot of good matches here tonight. A lot of really solid things. But then we had a lot of filler that wasn't as great. Angel Garza and Eric,
Yeah, that was
Reginald and
out of nowhere.
Reginald and Ricochet with the Job Squad following them. Keith Lee returning as the Bearcat. Keith Bearcat Lee. He beat Akira Tozawa in the squash. Like, there was a lot of filler on the show tonight too, right? Like, there were some good moments and there were some not so great moments. Karrion Kross's backstage promo and his match with Jackson Riker, like,
okay, yeah,
I
agree. But I would say
a lot of stuff I sat there
the
like,
lows were worse at Extreme Rules. I think those were lower lows.
all right, I don't know. I'm getting notes from the team about my volume now.
Your volume?
I don't know. I guess so. Something. I'm trying to figure it out.
But yeah,
like
they're
Charlotte Flair
shows.
and Doudrop, not good.
I
Like,
wish
there
they
was a
had
lot
more
of
time.
there's a lot of bullshit on this show.
I was really disappointed. We were talking about before that match, like, either it could be a good match or Eva Marie will interrupt and it'll be kind of a wash and a nothing match, and that's unfortunately what happened. Like, we were even speculating, what if Doudrop wins the match and wins the championship, and Charlotte, doesn't have a belt going into the draft, and like how that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they did not go in that direction at all.
Yeah, well, that's it. With the draft coming up on Friday, they could have gone in any direction with a number of things. You know, I could have seen Doudrop getting the win tonight. You know, I thought that was a possibility, beating Charlotte if they kind of want to reset things, maybe move Charlotte to a different brand. They've got the draft coming up on Friday night. It's going to start Friday. It's going to finish up on Monday. So, you know, they had a chance to kind of set things in a new direction. Nothing really changed tonight. Like, no massively new directions. It was all basically the same. Drew McIntyre came out at the end of the Big E Bobby Lashley match. And he pointed his sword at Big E. And I guess we're heading in that direction with Drew versus Big E for the WWE title. But even then, who knows?
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. They're both baby faces. I don't really see how it works.
And the draft as well, yeah. I guess, and also there's a bit of a spoiler saying Drew will stay on Raw. When he could have easily been one of those guys to move to SmackDown to challenge Roman. Or something, you know, just get a change of scenery. But it just seems like they're saying, no, Drew's going to stay on Raw.
Yeah. They didn't give you any indication that either of those guys would move, right? Given that they kind of started a new thing with those two tonight. I don't know. I don't really care to see Big E wrestle Drew McIntyre in some sort of prolonged feud. Maybe just one match and then they split up because of a draft. Like, I could see that happening. I don't really need them to wrestle for a long time. Again, like, one's a heel, one's a baby face, or they're both baby faces. I don't really see what you do there. I don't see how this helps Big E right off the bat as a new WWE champion to go up against Drew. We saw Big E beat Bobby Lashley in the main event tonight. It was supposed to be the opening match. They had an opening match. It was Big E versus Bobby Lashley. It ended in a no contest. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin come to Bobby Lashley's aid. The New Day starts brawling with them. Kofi and Woods, they come in, and their brawl spills into the ring, which interrupts the match. And I figured, okay, well, I guess we're going to do like a 6-man tag here, the newly reformed Hurt Business for no apparent reason. I don't know why they're back together. They gave no explanation as to why Shelton and Cedric are back. I mean, they were feuding with each other. They had been kicked out of the Hurt Business, then they were a tag team, then they feuded with each other, and now for some reason they reappear, and they're just back with the Hurt Business, helping Bobby Lashley try and regain the WWE title. It's not really clear why. MVP wasn't there with Bobby Lashley tonight. No explanation given as to why he's not there. I don't know what we're supposed to think, but Cedric and Shelton were a thing for Bobby Lashley tonight. They can't come out. Kofi and Woods, they start brawling with them. And then you think, okay, 6-man tag. But no, Adam Pearce just rebooks the Bobby Lashley Big E WWE title match and books it in a steel cage for the main event of the show, which I thought was pretty cool. I like that. I was happy with that.
But he said to make sure there's no outside interference, as people often do. But yet, like we saw, there was outside interference. Like the steel cage never really keeps people at bay. They always say it does, you know, like, I want to make sure your goons can't interfere, and then the goons always interfere.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for interference inside a steel cage, for sure. Apparently, MVP had knee surgery, so that's why he wasn't there. But he was walking around with a cane for a long time. I don't know. I guess he's resting his knee, but Shelton and Cedric coming back for no reason.
It should never have broken up.
I don't know why they came back. Yeah, they shouldn't have broken up, but here coming back for no reason. I don't know why the WWE doesn't at least try to explain it.
Yeah, they just said, oh, Hurt Business back together. Like, they're just saying, oh, they're like, no, don't explain where they were or anything, because they can't come up with a reason. But, yeah, they should have never broken up. I feel like they broke up just before Bobby went on his big title run, which didn't make any sense.
No,
because they should have been Bobby's goons, his Usos.
It would have helped Bobby, but they didn't do that.
They should have been Bobby's Usos.
I'm seeing Franco 316 asking when the next pay-per-view is. The next pay-per-view is going to be WWE Crown Jewel on October 21st in Saudi Arabia. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is official, and it looks like Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley is official as well. Bobby and Big E seems to have concluded their feud tonight. Big E gets the win, a clean victory over Bobby Lashley tonight in the main event inside the cage. It's exactly what Big E needed to, catapult his title run, give him some momentum here right out the gate. He beats Bobby Lashley with the big ending off the second rope, which was very impressive because they were really stuck up against the fence there. Big E didn't have a ton of room to.
His back was like bent.
Yeah,
like,
Big E didn't have a ton of room to maneuver, and he was able to pull off that move really well. It was very nice stuff, and he got the win there with that. Very good match. Very good match.
Yeah,
really good.
And also Big E, overcoming the adversity of getting jumped by Bobby before the match, took the kind of running fireman's carry into the cage, into the corner. They really built it up. They even had Big E shout ring the bell, he wants to wrestle. He's a fighting champion. A really good legitimizing match for Big E tonight.
Yeah, it was good to have him look so strong tonight against Bobby Lashley. Good stuff for Big E, and I guess Crown Jewel will probably be Big E versus Drew McIntyre now for the WWE title.
Could be. Very well could be.
I want to give a shout-out to Franco 316, to Brian Firth, to Angelo Contagonis, guys in the chat, supporting the Ringside Report Network, dropping the super chats, and being members of the team. Don't forget to join. If you haven't joined already, join the YouTube channel. Click that join button beneath me here if you're watching us on YouTube. If not, you can go to join.ringsidereport.net to join in and support the Ringside Report Network so we can keep giving you shows like this one right here. Drew versus Big E, again, I'm not super interested in that. I hope it's a one-and-done type thing just to enhance Big E. I'd like to see Drew McIntyre move over to SmackDown and be a babyface challenger for Roman Reigns. I think that makes way more sense than having him on Raw for a long period of time as a babyface challenging Big E, who's the babyface champion. I think that in the draft, we're not going to see major changes as far as the top players in the company, but maybe some of the top female players. I think Roman and Big E probably stay on Raw and SmackDown respectively. I could see Charlotte and Becky maybe switching sides. I think that might happen. I think it would be wise to move Seth Rollins over from SmackDown to Raw because Seth Rollins right now is a heel. Roman Reigns is the heel champion. Seth is a top guy in the WWE. It makes sense to separate him from Roman Reigns, especially if they're on the same side of the fence as far as heels go. I think that you move Seth over to Monday Night Raw. It's just a smart move. Seth in a program with Big E for the WWE Championship. Seth as the heel going up against Big E. That's a legitimizing feud for Big E for sure as a champion. So that's where I would go as far as some of the major moves. I would move Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown. I would move Seth Rollins over to Raw. I would try to help, the SmackDown creative team build some opponents for Roman Reigns, some legitimate babyface opponents. Drew McIntyre is a guy that would work. I think if you wanted to separate AJ Styles and Omos, you could move AJ Styles over to SmackDown as well for him to have some really good, solid matches with Roman Reigns as a babyface. You could turn AJ heel or babyface depending on how you book him. It really doesn't matter because the crowd is ready to cheer for AJ Styles. So I think he could move over to SmackDown. But those are kind of the main pieces. I think Becky and Charlotte could stay on Raw or SmackDown, but if you move Seth over to Raw, you probably move his wife Becky Lynch over to Raw as well so you can keep them on the road together. Other than that, I don't think we see any huge changes coming up in the draft. which will start again on this Friday night on SmackDown, and then finish up next Monday night on Raw. Any other moves you'd like to see?
Who's the Intercontinental Champion again?
Yeah, they could switch that. Shinsuke is the Intercontinental Champion.
Priest. I could see Priest going to SmackDown.
Yeah, I could see Damian Priest going to SmackDown too.
He'd be a good challenger for
Is
Roman Reigns.
Is Shinsuke the Intercontinental Champion?
I think still King Shinsuke.
Yeah,
with
I
Rick
think
Boogs.
so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see him coming to Raw.
Yeah.
He fits there, and I could see Damian Priest going to SmackDown. He'd fit well there. Where's Johnny Drip Drip? You know.
I don't know.
Because like Miz isn't really on TV, so he's not either. Or no, they broke up.
Did
they?
Mm-hmm.
Feels like so long ago.
But they never had the blow-off match because Miz disappeared.
Right, because of his
to go dance with the stars or whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Who's Dancing with Stars, I think. Remember they booked the match? They were like, oh, it's going to be Miz and Morrison. And then Morrison shows up to Raw, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to wrestle Miz. I'm going to wrestle somebody else. I forget who. He wrestled some other guy.
Bobby?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Damian Priest or something, and it's just like he lost, and it was like, all right.
So maybe one of those guys will be featured again, or... yeah, but I could see them swapping mid-card title belts. Tag champs I see staying. I see Randy and Riddle staying on Raw, and the Usos are definitely staying on SmackDown. If Roman's staying on
that's
SmackDown.
it.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, they could do a storyline where Usos are separated from Roman and Roman has to deal without them, but it doesn't make much sense.
I think you keep Roman on SmackDown and the Usos with them too. The bloodline stays.
Yeah.
I think they stay.
It's a hot angle.
Yeah. So that's the draft coming up. We'll see what they do on SmackDown. We'll be on after SmackDown to cover everything they did at the draft coming up this Friday night here on the Ringside Report Network at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But overall tonight, I thought we had a good Raw. I thought the match of the night was Damian Priest and Sheamus. Once again, Sheamus has match of the night.
Fantastic.
I feel like, people are going to start to think, oh, you're just a big Sheamus fan. And it's like, well, I am a Sheamus fan because he keeps delivering the best matches on the show. That's really why I like him, because he's very, very good at wrestling. Every time he steps in there, it's fantastic. His match last night stole the show, the triple threat with Jeff Hardy and Damian Priest. And now tonight they have a hardcore match, and it was phenomenal. Just brutal, brutal stuff. They beat the shit out of each other. Sheamus doing his whatever you call it. White noise slam there off the apron through a table. It was crazy. Damian Priest had this huge welt on his back. Sheamus had a huge welt from the kendo stick that Damian Priest whipped him with like a baseball bat. Sheamus jumps off the top rope, and Damian Priest just swings the kendo stick like a bat really hard, full force right into Sheamus's leg, and you saw the huge bruise afterwards. Like, Sheamus takes a beating, gives a beating. He is the best, has been for a very long time on Raw. I mean, he should be WWE champion, quite frankly, but I like Big E as champion right now, and it's just, it doesn't work for Sheamus, but he is on the run of his life right now. Week in, week out, he's the best thing on Raw. He's the most valuable player on that show, and he is just one of the best guys in WWE right now. Phenomenal match last night, and again tonight on a show where we had some really good matches. AJ Styles and Riddle was good. Big E and Bobby in the cage was really good. But for me, that Damian Priest-Sheamus match was the best.
Absolutely. Pay-per-view quality match.
Yeah.
The kendo stick spots, the table spots, the table in the corner, like I think like Sheamus just like got like Irish whipped into it, and like he just went through his body into it. I'd never seen a table in the corner explode like that. Usually when someone goes into it, it just kind of like splits a bit, but it still looks pretty intact. This one exploded into like 5 or 6 pieces, and like the metal was out, and Sheamus just threw his body into that thing. That was absolutely fantastic.
It was pretty cool.
Right, the night after, like another brutal match in the triple threat match with Hardy, these guys just go out there and do it again. These guys are really, really stepping up, maximizing their minutes.
especially Sheamus.
Yeah.
Damien Priest didn't do that much last night.
No.
He killed it tonight, but last night Sheamus was all over that match, and then again tonight he does it again. And Jeff Hardy, Damien Priest and Sheamus, they have a great match last night with Jeff. Tonight they wrestle each other one-on-one. It's fantastic. Jeff Hardy was on the losing end of a 6-man tag, teaming with Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, to lose to Veer Venus, Wanky Shanky, and Jinder. Veer got the win. So Jinder was the leader of this team, but I think with our support and love and just the fact that he's got such a good look and he's pretty decent in the ring and the WWE's looking to push new people, I think Veer might become the new leader of this group. They were even introduced as Shanky, Jinder Mahal, and Veer. And I was like, what do you mean, and Veer? I thought it was Veer, Shanky, and Jinder Mahal. But no, tonight it was Shanky, Jinder, and Veer. Look at Veer. And Veer got the win. Not Jinder, Veer.
And Veer was getting talked up a lot by the announcers. At one point in the match, Corey Graves just goes, "Oh, Veer looks so impressive out there," which felt very much like a Vince McMahon fed line of just talk up Veer.
Veer Venus, baby.
Veer Venus. He's on his way to the top.
That's our guy. What a win. What a win for Veer Venus. He got the 1-2-3 on Mustafa Ali after Mustafa tagged himself into the match because he was the heel on the team.
So cocky.
Oh, man, that guy. So that happened. Good win for Veer Venus. Big win for Damien Priest defending his U.S. title there with the move there that he hit to beat Sheamus, his crossroads type thing. Hell of a match, though, between Priest and Sheamus. Keith Lee returned to Raw, and he's now Keith Bearcat Lee. And he squashed Akira Tozawa, who found himself still in the ring for some reason. There was a Reginald versus Ricochet match, which was pretty flippy. They were just kind of flipping around the ring. But then R-Truth and Drew Gulak were ringside, and then they just decided to jump in and start attacking those guys. Really didn't get a chance to get that match off the ground. I was kind of enjoying Reginald and Ricochet, and I wanted to see what they were going to do, but then it ended really fast because it's a total joke, and why take anything seriously? You kind of want to get invested into this shit, and then they're like, it's a joke, forget about it.
Here comes R-Truth.
I'm like, oh, but they're kind of athletic, no? They're doing some pretty cool shit. Yeah, but whatever. Drake Maverick's got a walkie-talkie, So R-Truth and Drew Gulak attack Reginald and Ricochet, and then they get distracted and they get pushed away, and then Drake Maverick on a walkie-talkie signals for Akira Tozawa to come out and take out Reginald, but Reginald hits him with a move and escapes, and then Tozawa just stays in the ring forever, and Keith Lee shows up and beats him in a squash match. The Bearcat.
Very strange.
Is this what, he's got Bearcat written on his ass now, on his gear? He's like a Bearcat.
Okay.
Why? Why Bearcat?
Soon he'll have a mascot, suit.
They've tried so many different things with Keith Lee. They've had different outfits and different music, and now different reboots of the character. Or now he's the Bearcat. It's like, what?
Will they drop Keith Lee and just call him Bearcat?
Bearcat Lee?
It's not a bad name. Sounds like an old baseball pitcher.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't hate Bearcat. It's just kind of where did this come from? I know that there have been wrestlers in the past called Bearcat whatever, and old-timey wrestlers that we haven't seen,
Big Cat Ernie Ladd.
Yeah, that's Big Cat. Not Bear. No, but there's been wrestlers in the past called Bearcat whatever.
Yeah.
Johnson. Bearcat Johnson or something, Bearcat the Rock Johnson. You've seen that guy. There's a lot of Bearcats in the history of wrestling, and here's just another one. He's the Bearcat. I have no idea why they did this, but I don't hate it. I just don't get it.
And I don't see it going well. They'll just call him Bearcat, and like I said, maybe they'll have a guy in a mascot costume accompanying him to the ring, or when he comes out to the ring, his music will be like a, like Sable's theme song or something.
That's a bear cat.
I wouldn't want to tussle with that thing. Looks like a Wolverine.
Yeah.
But they don't want to call him the Wolverine.
This is the animal. No, you can't call anybody Wolverine.
Nope.
That's the animal that Keith Lee is supposed to be.
Especially a rabid one.
He's a bear cat. It's weird.
It is weird.
I don't know why he's a bear cat. I don't really understand it, but it sounds like kind of cool. He's like a bear and a cat.
Strong and quick.
That animal kind of looked like a bear and a cat.
A bit like a sloth,
Let me get another look at that thing. Look at that thing. It's like weird. It's got whiskers like a cat, but it's got like a snout and a jaw like a bear almost, and like the little ears like a bear too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But look, it's got big whiskers. Bears don't have big whiskers.
It's got like the hair, too,
and it's got kind of like the body of a cat. Look at those claws.
That's also kind of berry too. Like it's a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's an interesting animal, this bear cat.
Southeast Asia, I think he says.
Yeah, Southeast Asia is where you can find these things. They've got another name too, I forget. But I was fascinated with this animal. I was like, it's got a cool look of this thing. Keith Lee doesn't remind me of this at all, though.
No.
I mean, if you want to say grizzly bear Keith Lee, like, all right, he's kind of like big and scary. Like, yeah. Grizzly Lee. Although Grizzly, I think Grizzly Smith ruined the Grizzly name for all the kind of like Wolverine. You can't because of Benoit, you know.
Yeah. All the animal names getting taken.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog Keith Lee.
Junkyard Keith Lee. Junkyard Lee. Okay, because Cincinnati Bearcats is like a thing. It's a football team in the NCAA, and they were in Cincinnati, so I kind of thought maybe it's just for tonight he's Bearcat, but I don't think so. I think this is like his new name because they have gear for him, right? So it's got to be like a permanent name.
Like
I think they debuted it in Cincinnati because they thought he'd get a pop because it's Bearcat. Yeah. I think that's why they debuted him tonight under the Bearcat name because they're gonna call him Bearcat, and they're like, "Oh, Cincinnati Bearcats, we gotta debut him in Cincinnati. It's gonna be really over."
It's like a college thing, and like wherever they go, he'll just be the local college. Like if they're in Minnesota, he'll be the Gopher Keith Lee, the Golden Gopher.
I don't think they're gonna do that. They're not gonna get
Wisconsin Badger.
They're not gonna get like new gear for him every time he's out there, and that's a really stupid gimmick.
You know, they love college sports in
America. I am going
America.
to be the name of the college of the sports team.
The South Carolina Gamecock.
I'm a Gamecock tonight. What about, like, don't some of those teams have, like, names that are...
Like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Yeah, like, what's Keith Lee going to come out in?
Fighting Irish Keith Lee.
He's going to come out in, like, a little hat,
the
you know?
shillelagh, like Finley, you know, a little Finley tribute.
That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about...
Seminoles?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Florida State? Yeah.
Or like, you know, the Cleveland Indians and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Which is not the name of the team anymore. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of those sports teams have names like that. And I know we used to call them Native Americans. I don't know. I think it's indigenous.
Well, Seminole is a tribe.
Do they still call them Native Americans?
I think so.
Anyways, all respect to those people. I love those people.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. I think we call them indigenous now. But like Keith Lee can't be dressing up as you know, like gearing up as that.
Vince would love that.
So Vince would like that. I mean, there was Tatanka, but
Chief J Strongbow,
who was like an Italian guy. Tatanka was legitimately an indigenous guy. I met the guy. I worked on a wrestling show with him. Lovely guy, Tatanka. Came up to me, said his name was Chris. I was like, "Your name's Tatanka, man. You're Tatanka, dude." I loved it. It was amazing. We talked about wrestling Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. He wrestled Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, which is pretty damn cool. God bless you, Tatanka. Anyways, Bearcat Lee happened tonight. That was pretty cool. I think it's going to be Bearcat Lee forever now. And when I say pretty cool, I mean not cool. It wasn't very good. I don't like the name. I think it's kind of weird. Karrion Kross cut a backstage promo about agony, I think.
The agony of watching him.
The agony of being him, or so, I don't know. What happened to Scarlett? Like, he's more interesting when she's around because I don't really like looking at his mask and weird face and angry, like, expressions. Karrion Kross is like a weird character. I don't know. It's not working for me. He wrestled Jackson Riker tonight. Jackson Riker reemerged for some reason, and he got choked out with like a rear naked choke type of thing that Karrion Kross does, and Kross wins by submission.
What was Karrion Kross calling himself? The Harbinger of Darkness or something? The Harbinger of something?
Harbinger of something.
Doom?
Yeah, he's a Harbinger. It's fucking...
Sorrow, sadness?
It's lame, man.
It's just these lame heavy metal, like, ish sounding things.
Just the promo was lame. You know, it just wasn't good. The promo was actually very bad. Like, it's just horrible. What was that? And then the match was just like, yeah, all right. This Karrion Kross thing is not working. The presentation in NXT was so good for him. Like, they had it down. He was a badass. He had Scarlett with him. He looked cool. He walked out. He beat people's asses. He didn't talk too much. She did a lot of the talking for him. And now they come out. They completely change his look. They have him with that demolition style like gear with a little mask on and everything. He comes out without Scarlett. He's doing all the talking. It's super awkward. He's not as dominant at all on Raw as he was in NXT. And sometimes you got to make a guy, you know, just crush people so that you take him seriously. And he's just not crushing people. I mean, tonight he kind of crushed Jackson Riker, but even then, like, Riker got some offense in there. Like, they are not doing Karrion Kross any favors, and it's not working. It's not working. I think it's only a matter of time before he's going for the 24/7 title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not working.
We're just getting, like, jobbed out.
Yeah.
You know, he won't get an intro. Or he'll start dancing.
I think best case scenario for him, he challenges for the U.S. title against Damien Priest and maybe wins or has a feud at least and looks like a mid-level wrestler, because right now he's low level. He looks low level.
If they move Shinsuke to Raw, he could maybe beat Shinsuke.
Maybe, but I don't know if he's on, like, if they wanted to elevate him, like, maybe they could. But right now I see him about same level as, like, the Viking Raiders. They should just put all those guys together. They're basically the same at this point.
Have them all cut the same promo about how they're dark and you're moody.
The Viking Raiders don't do that. They usually talk about how much the big guy likes to eat.
Like Otis?
Yeah, pretty much. He had that big ham hock that he was carrying around, or the turkey leg, right? Remember the turkey leg thing with the Ivar? Anyways. So Karrion Kross had that match. AJ Styles wrestled Riddle. Very good match there. AJ wins with the Styles Clash 1-2-3 on Matt Riddle. Omos hit a chokeslam on Riddle after the match, and you would think, well, Randy Orton's going to come help, you know, his tag team partner. They are the tag team champions. But no, Randy Orton wasn't on Raw. Riddle did an interview backstage talking about Randy Orton taking the night off and wondering where he is and what he's doing. I wondered the same thing, Riddle. AJ Styles and Omos. AJ gets the win. Clean victory, though, from AJ. He didn't need Omos to get the win there. Omos did beat up Riddle after the match. No Randy Orton. He's one half of the tag team champions. He's on the show most weeks, but sometimes he disappears.
I mean, it was kind of advertised for tonight. Like, in all the match graphics, it was Riddle with Randy behind him against AJ. So you figure, yeah, and then right before the match, Riddle's like, yeah, Randy's not here, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's having lots of fun. It's just like...
Why is that cool?
It just sounds pathetic.
Yeah, because he's always without Randy. He's always doing stuff without Randy. Like, the whole build to SummerSlam was Riddle wrestling Omos and AJ Styles, basically doing what he did tonight, getting beat up by those guys, and Randy not coming to save him. And then eventually, like the week before SummerSlam, Randy did come back and saved him, and then they had the match, and then they won the belts. But, like, why are they doing this again? Why are they doing this again with Randy? Where's Randy? Why does Randy disappear so much? He disappeared before Money in the Bank, or before and after Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he was pulled from, like, a qualifying match, wasn't
Yeah, he disappeared, and then I think he came back briefly, and then he disappeared again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he never come back after Money in the Bank? I feel like he did come back for a bit, and then he disappeared again. Anyways,
But that's cool.
He was not here tonight. Riddle is just like, yeah, fine with it, because whatever. Riddle doesn't care. You can give him the RKO, and it's fine. Next week, they're all fine.
This has to end with Riddle like cracking and like beating up Randy in like a brutal fashion.
It should.
Otherwise, his character is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And both sets of tag team champions are now doing the same gimmick. You have Riddle, who's just kind of the little puppy to Randy,
Millhouse.
to the big dog. Yeah, he's Millhouse to Randy Orton's Bart, you know? Like, Riddle just wants to be friends with Randy, and Randy's just like, oh, whatever, this guy, I guess I'll hang around with him. And it's the same thing with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is like, yeah, I guess I'm friends with Nikki Cross. And Nikki Cross is like, hey, we should be the Super Brutality. That should be our team name, and we should wear matching gear. And isn't this cool, Rhea? And Rhea's like, yeah, all right. So you have one kind of like straight man character, you know, like just kind of very like basic, and then you have this like yapping dog who's just stupid and ridiculous and not to be taken seriously. And it's just not that original when you're seeing it on two tag teams in the same show. It's just like, all right, all your tag team champions are like these teams where one person is embarrassed to be with the other.
And
It's
like,
weird.
Compared to AEW, where you have a tag team called the Best Friends, you know?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, people who just seem to generally enjoy being around each other. Like Jurassic Express or like John Silver and the Dark Order or like anybody. They always enjoy each other's company. But here it's all strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
And like, can you believe I'm stuck with this guy?
And then you have real tag teams like the Viking Raiders who just get jobbed out. Like Angel Garza just beats Eric tonight of the Viking Raiders, and you're like, okay. Viking Raiders, you know, don't do anything. It's always these kind of makeshift tag teams. The Usos, though, you know, they can always stick with the Usos. Usos and the New Day are the only tag teams that have been a tag team for a while that they actually keep together and keep strong.
Yeah.
Like, the Usos are still strong. I wonder what the future holds for the Street Profits. I don't know. But, you know, all that stuff with Riddle and Randy Orton and Randy not being there for Riddle, I thought they were over this. But now they're back to square one with AJ Styles and Omos stuff. Like, what?
It's quite tedious.
Why is this happening again? Why? So I didn't like that. But the match was good. I wonder where Randy is. Hope Randy's okay. Charlotte Flair beats Doudrop. It was a title match. Charlotte defending the Raw Championship against Doudrop tonight. And Eva Marie showed up to distract Doudrop, and it worked. And then Charlotte hit the natural selection for the 1-2-3 on Doudrop. Yeah, kind of expecting that match to be a little bit more than it was. They really didn't give us very much as far as a match there. It was basically, you know, a few moves. Eva Marie shows up. Charlotte hits natural selection, and we're done. Eva Marie came in the ring during Charlotte's celebration after the match and kind of posed like she had won something as well. Charlotte didn't like it and nailed her with a pretty good clothesline. I like that clothesline from Charlotte. The crowd loved it as well. They went nuts. The crowd loves when Eva Marie gets beat up, and Eva Marie got beat up again. She stayed in the ring during a Goldberg promo. We come back.
Tozawa.
Yeah, just like Tozawa had just kind of overstayed his welcome in the ring, as did Eva Marie. She should have learned from Tozawa. It didn't work out for him. Didn't work out for Eva Marie either. Kind of cookie-cutter way of doing these things, right? Like, yeah, let's do a thing where Tozawa's still in the ring for some reason, and then let's do it again with Eva Marie. So Eva Marie's in the ring. She cuts a promo. She says if she were Doudrop, she would have won the Raw Championship tonight, but Doudrop is no good, and Eva Marie is the best, and Eva Marie can beat anybody up in that locker room. Here comes Shayna. Shayna shows up, grabs Eva, chokes her out, and the crowd cheers. They love it. Shayna does her stomp thing on Eva Marie's arm, the same thing she did to Nia Jax last week on the ring steps outside, like busting Eva's arm. Eva screaming in pain, the crowd chanting one more time, but the script only called for one time to do that to Eva Marie. Unfortunately, I thought it would have been cool had she done it again. I thought she should have done it again. You know, I'm not sure if she's a heel or a babyface. Last week when she brutally attacked Nia Jax after the match, I thought maybe she's a heel. But tonight when she attacks Eva Marie, it's like, well, anybody who attacks Eva Marie is a babyface. I mean, Charlotte, I guess, still a heel. She's a tweener, really, yeah, Charlotte Flair.
She got a pop for that.
Yeah, that's it. And I think she can kind of work on both sides right now. But as far as Shayna goes, I think she's a babyface based off what she did to Eva, but it's really not clear. She's just like a mean, sadistic babyface.
The video package treated her as like a heel, and her backstage promo, where she was like threatening the was it Sarah Schreiber?
Yeah, the announcer lady.
Or the other one.
Their backstage interviewer there,
and
Sarah.
The announcers were like, "Oh, Shayna, so dangerous. Oh, she's like a real villain in the WWE for what she did." Like they're really saying like Shayna's like the new big bad. But then she comes out and does this like pure babyface move. Like it's almost like they didn't think the crowd would pop for Eva Marie getting hurt, which is strange.
I don't know. It was weird. I think Shayna's a babyface. I think if you attack Eva, you're a babyface. But I don't know what the WWE thinks Eva is. Maybe they think she's a babyface and the crowd is just crazy. I don't know. Maybe Vince can't hear anymore. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, that happened. I think Shayna versus
Definitely.
Charlotte possibly down the road, but I don't know. Maybe Shayna versus Becky if Becky moves over to Raw. Either way, I think Shayna's in line for a shot at one of the belts, one of the main belts. I think she's next for whoever come draft time. I do think Charlotte and Becky might switch. I think that would make a lot of sense. Switch shows. Goldberg cuts a promo from home about Bobby Lashley attacking his son at SummerSlam. Goldberg says he's going to hurt Bobby real bad in Saudi Arabia, and if he's lucky enough, he'll kill him. So Goldberg wants to kill Bobby Lashley, and it seems like that match is pretty much official for Saudi Arabia. The Goldberg-Bobby rematch that we expected to see after Bobby Lashley attacked Goldberg's son at SummerSlam. And, of course, the crowd loved Goldberg's son getting attacked at SummerSlam. And who didn't? Who didn't? No one likes Gage Goldberg. So, yeah, Goldberg's back. Thankfully, it was a short promo. We didn't have to sit through a lot of Goldberg talk. I don't even think he said Bobby Lashley's next. Did he tell him he was next?
No, he said, I'm going to kill you.
He's like, oh, I hope to kill you. He didn't even say you're next. Oh, well. So Lashley versus Goldberg probably going to happen at Crown Jewel. I would also say Drew McIntyre versus Big E for the WWE title. And we already know officially Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. That'll be Crown Jewel on October 21st. And then Survivor Series will be in Brooklyn, New York on November the 21st. So we have the Crown Jewel show there, and then it'll be Survivor Series in November. So not a packed schedule for the WWE here over the next couple of months, which is good for me. Not too many pay-per-views. You know, one a month is enough. They don't need to go back to sometimes twice a month or every 3 weeks. You know, once a month is more than enough from WWE.
And Crown Jewel will probably be at like noon or like 2 p.m.?
Yeah, it'll be an afternoon show on like a Thursday afternoon.
Thursday, yeah.
I think it's a Thursday.
Yeah, the 21st?
Yeah, it's a Thursday afternoon.
Huh.
In Saudi Arabia.
All right, then.
So that will be Crown Jewel coming up next. And that was Raw. That's pretty much it.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was a decent episode of Raw. Good matches. You know, for sure, AJ and Riddle, Big E and Bobby in the cage, Damien Priest and Sheamus in the no DQ match.
Veer Venus
getting a win. Eva Marie getting beat up by Charlotte and Shayna. I mean, that was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Some good stuff.
No Alexa.
Decent episode of Monday Night Raw. And that's it. That's it for us. All right? I'm wrapping this up. We are done. I'll be back here on Wednesday night after Dynamite. Dynamite in Rochester, New York, coming up on Wednesday. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel. We appreciate you. And I'm off now. I get a break. I'm off tomorrow. Back Wednesday here on the Ringside Report Network. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, do the damn thing. Do all the things. Become a member. Are you a member? Why are you not a member? If you are a member, good on you. If you're not a member, why not? Honestly, why not? Franco's a member. Angelo Contagonis is a member. Doug Hepburn is a member. Brian Firth is a member. You know?
Join the party.
Join the party. Angelo dropping a super chat. Thank you, Angelo. And that's it. We'll be back here Wednesday night after Dynamite.